You're turning Japanese? That's some crazy stuff. Dude, I'm trying to get my YouTube working, but this restream thing just doesn't work. Like, I don't understand it. Why doesn't it work? It's just saying it's offline for some reason. It's not connecting. Are you guys seeing the vertical live stream? Seems like it's okay for that one, but the horizontal one doesn't really work. Yeah, I don't get it. It's just saying it's offline. Oh no, now it's working. Okay. Are you guys finally? Gosh. Okay for that. All right. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Thursday. China's better than living in the West? Hell no. China is not better than living in the West. I think China is maybe like a third. Well, it depends on if you're in a major city. Yeah, probably. It's mind blowing what you see there. Really. Wait, why is it like? Oh, you know that's why. Oh my gosh. No wonder. Okay. So now I understand how this whole thing works. This is stupid. What the heck? So I'm using this software to multi-stream, right? And then like it keeps making this new thing, which for some reason makes me think that it's not starting, but it's actually starting. So I'm just gonna delete this. And because we already have one going live, so good evening from South Africa. Hello, welcome. We got some cool stuff to cover today. And for some reason the chat setting also doesn't work. This thing sucks. Anyways, at least I can multi-stream now, so that's good. Can I add like oh, dude, what the heck? It also doesn't change my titles and stuff like that too? What? That's really dumb. Can I go back and change things? Upload thumbnail. There we go. Now people are gonna be thinking like I'm doing a whole different live stream. That's stupid. Go live. There we go. There we go. Okay, now now it's good. Membership stuff. Okay, so I can't really tell you right now because we're trying to solve it. But I will have something of an answer soon. Let's see if we get to solve it this week. Something's going on with the channel, so we're just trying to solve it. It's not my first time doing a live stream, but for some reason, every time I do a live stream, there's something going on with the software. Maybe I should just stop trying to do multi-stream. Maybe I should just do like only on YouTube. Yeah, so if you are signed up for the membership, thank you for their support. Just don't cancel yet because we're trying to figure something out with the membership thing. So just keep I'll keep you posted. It shouldn't charge you anything right now if you do if you have signed up and you paid for it. So for the time being, I believe it's paused. You got a YouTube music recap? No way. That's awesome. That's very good. Okay, so what we're going to talk about today is something pretty interesting, and I found this. Somebody sent me this. So this is a apparently a noodle shop in China is making airplanes.
安装完毕。
喜欢飞机自己组装一架，不会组装花点小钱装好给你。中国网络最近出现不少这类贩售自制轻型飞机的广告，价格可以低到不到9。
So basically, now in China, they make everything for you. They are assembling these small airplanes, like light airplanes, for you if you place an order. It costs around 100,000 RMB, which is around, I think, like what, 20K maybe? 100K RMB to USD. Yeah, it costs around $14,000. So $14,000, you can assemble. I don't even know if you would call these like helicopters, but maybe they're like I don't know, a helibooster, something like this. But basically, you can ride in it, right? So what happened was they found out that the company that was making this, it's a huge deal in China apparently. It's actually a noodle shop. So here's on Douyin. They went inside this noodle shop. It turns out a noodle shop was making airplanes.
老周透露，工厂主营业务其实是生产面条，因为生产面条机的机床与制造飞机的机床。
So for some reason, the factory machines that make the noodles is the same ones that you can make airplane parts out of, or I don't know, like a what do you even call these things? Like a helicarrier? No. Helicopter? Something like this. But apparently you can make noodles and also helicopter parts in the same machinery.
能够通用，所以卖面条的同时做起了定制飞机的生意。在工作室另一侧，记者看到了3架正在制作中的旋翼飞机。
你看飞多快啊！这个都就是时速
100多公里没问题啊，最高是个飞机。
So the dude literally makes airplanes in his house. I don't know what they're building the planes for. I think they are so you can assemble drones in China now. I just learned about this yesterday. So apparently you can assemble drones by yourself in China. It's pretty easy to do as long as you order the individual parts. And a lot of people use the drones for good. Like, for example, I heard that there are some people who are using the drones to essentially spread like flyers. They would disperse flyers because some of these drones, they can carry up to 5 kilograms or about 10 pounds worth of things on it. And so they assemble these gyrocopters. That's the word. Yeah, gyrocopters. Microcopters, gyrocopters, those things. Yes. So it reminds me, I remember I saw this thing from like a video game. I think gyrocopter video game where you can like literally ride a gyrocopter around. Is it like something like this? I think there's more than one video game, I guess, that you can ride these things around. Gyrocopter, World of Warcraft. Yeah, but dude, these things. So basically, some people in China have used them for good. They would ride the in the case of the drones, they would basically carry a bunch of propaganda flyers, like good propaganda flyers, spread them around in the air. And there's no way to track them because if you don't buy the commercial drones, you make them yourself. Then you can basically, there's no way for them to trace you, right? So you won't get caught. But I don't know what the purpose of these gyrocopters would be. Ramen plus super glue equals airplane. Yeah, it's like the videos they like fix everything, fix everything with a ramen packet. Dude, it's crazy because Janus 1. What is Janus 1? Oh yeah, this thing, right? This thing. Yeah, that looks pretty cool. But obviously, the ones in China aren't that advanced. They're pretty basic. I think that was the point of this. So the meme is real. For making noodles to making airplanes. So these are some of the hand-pulled noodles into hand-pulled helicopters. It works. So I thought it was interesting because the geniusness of it, right? You can really do anything to, you know, work on things. But also I realized this is literally what the CCP exports to like Iran and Russia. They just like export out the parts. And apparently I think it's easy enough to do that. You just assemble those drones and then they can be weaponized. So now we have the answer as to how they do this stuff in Russia, in Ukraine, that is. This is not made in China? Oh, I didn't know. I thought that was made in China. My bad. That's pretty crazy. In the US, there's hundreds of these shops caused by very liberal laws where basically can fly anything approved. It's limited in horsepower. Under a certain weight can also max. Yeah, I think a lot of these you can carry a person. That's pretty cool. Okay, so there's another one which I want to talk about today is the latest indiscriminate rampage that happened in China. So this man here, he was on the run after offing 9 people in northeastern China. And this dude had been in jail 5 times, and he had just come out of jail earlier this year. So this dude literally went around and randomly just offed 9 people in the streets, like a rampage revenge against society type of thing. Obviously, like a lot of these CCP shells claim that China is very safe, but this guy was on the run for a few days. They eventually caught the guy. Let's see here. Yeah, this is a video where they caught the guy. He was hiding in some farmland, I believe. So they caught the guy. This reminds me of last year during the Chinese New Year, which usually during the Chinese New Year, you don't report any negative news. But there was a guy who indiscriminately essentially offed the entire village. So it's obviously crazy right now because in China, there's a huge buildup of misery. And some of these people who are essentially crazy, like this guy had been in jail for 5 times for stealing, for robbery. But now he decided to go on a rampage. And there's here's the crimes that he's been in jail for. November 2009, sentenced 3 months of detention. October 2015, sentenced to 1 year and 1 month for theft. August 2017, sentenced to 5 years, 6 months for robbery and theft. January 2023, sentenced 1 year and 3 months for theft. March 2024, sentenced for 1 year and 2 months for theft. So the dude had been in jail 5 times. And he comes out and he decides that this was going to be the where's the video? This is going to be the end of all. This was him previously on a video call to his friend saying that they can't find him. He's got 3 cleavers on him or 3 blades on him, and they caught the guy. So I'm glad they caught the guy, but honestly, like it's a huge discussion right now to talking about, you know, like what the state of China is, right? Because like you have all these people desperately trying to claim that China's safe, but it's really not, because these type of stories, they don't get reported in China as much as you think they would be. Like randomly going around to off 9 people is a tragedy, and it should be talked about, but it's really not covered much in China. Rampages are really often in China. Like I can pretty much find you videos. Like if I go on this guy's page, I can pretty much find you videos of rampages almost every single day. So like I have not looked at these, right? So I'll just show you. Like I can scroll. There's like disasters every day in China. This one here happening, like factory fire. This one here, some sort of an argument. He pulled out a knife on the fruit stand owner. This one, forced demolition. Let's see here. Fire. Petitioning, protest. More protests. Fire, 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 protest. This is the scene of that murder that we just the murderer that we just saw. This is where they caught him. More protest. The guy that he was just caught. Let's see here. A guy swimming in the frozen river because he's protesting. Well, today seems like a peaceful day because there's only one stabbing incident. Oh, this a car incident. This person backed into multiple pedestrians. Protest. And that's all within a day. This is still December 3rd, by the way. So we haven't even gone through a whole day yet of things that happen in China. Protest. Some car accident. This one ran into an armored vehicle. Yeah, there's a lot. First time watching, thank you very much. Yeah, it's in Jilin. Usually I don't know what it is, the northern province. Another fire. A lot of these things happen in China. Dude, this is crazy. I just saw this. So I don't know what year this is from, but I just saw they have this. I don't know what looks to be a facial recognition scoring system. Oh, this is 2025, October 8th. So this is very recent. And then she just held up this thing, says to turn the webcam. So I think they may be evaluating some sort of a measurement. I don't know what the measurement is. Maybe like their normalness. That seems crazy. What do you think? What do you guys think they're measuring? Hello, hello, welcome. Dude, we never had this school system in China. This is very recent. Hi, BBX. Thank you very much. Dude, it's crazy. Oh, love from Quebec. Bonjour. I love poutine. Poutine is the best. China's better than the US? Well, yeah, if you think technology, I can't speak. Technology surveillance is what you consider better. That's great. Imagine you're like, this is how you policed an entire class. It's like some sort of not a social credit score, but like a behavioral score, maybe. Where's the teacher? The person held up another paper that says, "Are you giving?" Oh, I think it's during an exam. And so up in the top here, I'll show you these little red things. Up in the top, like here, the three red things. It says at this frame something happened. At this frame something happened. And then on the top right, there's a target thing. Here it says target 40 up here. Target 40. I don't know what that means. Maybe it means like they need to maintain below 40 for the scores. AI rated them about deliciousness. Surveillance system keeps them alive. Hello. Hey, Sarah. Is it just names? It's not the names, because the names usually will be a string of numbers, not like so the words here says normal. The words in the blue says normal. So it's just like they're being evaluated for something. Maybe it's like an anti-cheat system. So dystopian? Yeah, very much dystopian. Dude, so recently let me find it. This is all about the killing. So recently, you know how Japan basically defended Taiwan in a way by saying that if something happens to Taiwan, Japan will intervene. And so the CCP went on this whole rampage, right? Now, what they're trying to say is the latest comments from the Prime Minister of Japan, which says that the longstanding policy is that there's one China, is somehow this tone that they're backing down. And then China today demands that Japan retract the statements they made on Taiwan, which, by the way, if you listen to the original parliamentary session where she said this stuff, excuse me, it wasn't anything out of the extraordinary, like extreme things. It was just, she says that the current, state of what Japan considers survival or existential, like Taiwan is part of it, right? So there's nothing out of the ordinary from how a country would defend their national security. And then you have people like Victor Gao who says this.
Your audience, the moment Japan develops the nuclear weapon, that will be the moment of annihilation of Japan as a state, because China and other peace-loving countries will never allow Japan to develop weapons of mass destruction. That means for Prime Minister Takaichi to threaten war against China is moving in the dangerous direction of destroying peace in this part of the world. And if they want to implicate the United States in this threatened war against China, let me tell all the Americans, remember Pearl Harbor. Don't allow Japan to betray its commitments it entered into when it unconditionally surrendered to China and the United States.
So basically, Victor Gao threatened the Americans, saying that if you dare to let Japan have nuclear weapons, another Pearl Harbor event will happen. Now, the issue this time is that obviously Japan's not going to fire on the United States because they're allies now, right? This is not World War II Japan. This is modern day Japan. So it's allies of the United States. So the only country that is going to start another Pearl Harbor in 2025 or beyond would be China. So essentially, this dude, Victor Gao, the infamous wolf warrior, is threatening the United States to say that they will launch an attack on Pearl Harbor, which is in Hawaii. Obviously, that's part of the United States, sovereign territory, and land, part of the United States. So if that does happen, I would say this is a direct threat against the United States for backing up Japan, which I think is quite ridiculous because if you consider the entire thing, it's not the US or Japan that wants war. It's China that wants to invade Taiwan and change the status quo. Yeah, I'm Japanese now, so I gotta speak a little bit of Japanese. Konnichiwa. Arigato. Goodbye, Taiwan. Hello, Taipei. Dude, it's crazy because you know what the real repercussions of what China is doing recently is that literally factories are leaving China. This is Canon. So Canon, obviously this is not because of this incident, but Canon is closing down a lot of the factories in China. Manufacturing jobs are leaving China. Foreign manufacturing companies are leaving China, or at least their manufacturing hub is leaving China. So Canon is a Japanese camera brand, tech brand, and it has a long-standing printer plant in Zhongshan in Guangdong, and now it is exiting the country after nearly 25 years in China with about 1,600 workers. It's closing down. It's already closed down, actually, because of the years of so-called mounting cost pressures and in rapidly shifting market conditions. In other words, it's essentially saying that China is an uncertain factor for Japanese companies. And if you look at the data, this is from NHK. Factory activities in China has been stuck in contraction for 8 months, for the 8th month, that is 8 months consecutively in November. It's just bad, okay? And at this moment, they still want to say that it's Japan that's causing all of the issues. Excuse me. What is the reason why China wants to do this? Obviously, because China's economy is so bad, they need this outlet, right? Don't hate on the government. Hate on the Japanese people for causing this trouble. You know what's what people in China are gonna say when they find out that the Canon factory is closing down? They're gonna say that, oh, Japanese people are the bad people. They're leaving us without jobs, right? It's not because of the Chinese government that's leaving them without jobs or their policies. It's the Japanese company Canon that's causing us to lose 1,600 jobs. So yeah, totally agree. Delusional, delulu. Status on that 28 tons of fake gold, kin gold. Why don't I remember what that was? I think I talked about it too. Dude, remember Pearl Harbor? Of course, dude, if China wants to do anything, they do it to Guam, they do it to Pearl Harbor, they do it to Hawaii first. Dude, imagine, like, I'm not even trying to prop up Japan because I'm half Japanese now by legality. I'm just saying that, like, the Japanese Defense Force is only constrained by their own rules. So if China actually tries to do something to Japan, the current Japanese prime minister has a 75% approval rate, according to multiple polls, and this has not dropped since this whole thing with China started, right? So imagine what would happen. Like, Japan is literally on their route, like the path to defining their constitution to move further into the path of normalizing their defense force into a full military. And in that case, dude, like, people are gonna be like, oh, Dave is a traitor to China. But like, the last time Japan did something to China, like, China didn't go really well. Now, obviously today is a little bit different, but Japan is still not somebody you can just downplay as a military power. Like, their current capacity with the naval forces is already pretty scary. So yeah, like, I don't know, man. Yeah, dude, I heard that in Milan, like, the Italian made in Italy products are actually Chinese sweatshop workers in Italy making them. So it's like you're technically buying made in Italia, but it's really made in China. I don't know if you guys can hear the siren in the background. I have like where I live, every time there's a fire, they have the siren that sounds like there's an air raid going on. So this is a video from the Canon store closing, the factory, and people in the comments are reminiscent of how good foreign businesses were. So I'll tell you a story where I went to Guangzhou in 2006, and for me, from a small town, the first time I went to Guangzhou and I saw all of the foreign brands with their huge factories, like, the first time I saw this huge Adidas symbol in front of the factory, like the warehouse factory. The first time I saw a Nike symbol there. The first time I saw all of these things, like, yeah, sure, you could buy some Adidas or Nike, right? Like, it's for a lot of people back then, like, Nike and Adidas were already pretty luxury for a regular person. So for you to see a huge factory, like a huge building, you know, those warehouses that take up a massive amount of land, and there's just like everywhere in China, right? You're like, wow, that's crazy. There's so many foreign companies here. And then now, if you went to China, you went to all these places, and all those companies have left after 25 years or more or less. It's honestly pretty crazy to think about what went wrong in that process. You know, how did they go from so much confidence to invest in China to now literally leaving? Well, you can only really explain it by the CCP's own doing. Hey, good to see you, Ion. You don't hear the siren. Okay, that's good. Because every time it goes off, I'm like, dude, are we running to an air raid shelter? No wonder Putin canceled all of this. Yeah, dude, the Chinese drones and missiles. Dude, if China touches the boat, I think it's already gone crazy. Dude, and then you have these people, like, literally looks possessed. Look at this. Like, she looks like a ghoul. Like, look at this. This is pretty crazy. This is when you know the the Lulu has gone off to the extreme side. She looks like a World of Warcraft ghoul. You ever see one of those? This is some crazy behavior right here. Yeah, dude, I don't know why, but did she put on a filter or something? Reminds you of Momo. Who's Momo? Right, walked right out of a necropolis. Oh, Zembic filter. This dude, the thing I think very interestingly reflects is what many people think it's like, oh, they're just doing this for the views. No, there's like legit some people that think this way. Momo the doll? Momo challenge? Oh my gosh. Dude, that is scary, dude. Oh my gosh. Dude. That's crazy. New Labubu. What is this? How do the Labubus go? They're like Labubu, Amumu, Talulu. This is Sipupu, Sipipi, CCP. Creepy pasta is. What is the Momo challenge hoax? Momo challenge is an internet hoax and urban legend that was rumored to spread through social media and other outlets as a creepy pasta. It's reported that children and adolescents were being harassed by a user named Momo to perform a series of dangerous tasks, including violent attacks, self-harms, harming others, and suicide. Despite claims that the phenomenon had reached worldwide proportions in July 2018, the number of actual complaints were relatively small, and many law enforcement agencies had not been able to confirm that anyone was harmed as a direct result of it. Moreover, the Momo challenge sparked global panic and prompted urgent warnings from authorities and child safety advocates. Reports of children encountering Momo's disturbing messages circulated widely, causing heightened fears among parents and caregiver. That's crazy, dude. The Chinese version of the Momo doll. That's scary. Yeah, it's very old, right? Like I don't think I cared about this stuff when it was 2018, 2019. The fear, man. The worst one, I think the copy I don't know if it's a real story, but it's like the Russian craziness experiment where they like apparently locked a bunch of people inside these chambers and then made them all go insane, and they started Russian human experiment. I remember reading the sleep experiment. Yes. It's a urban legend, right? So it's a creepypasta too, but it's not historical. This thing. That was also crazy. Yeah. I don't think it's real, but I remember the 2 a.m. Reddit browsing of creepypasta. That was a big thing for me too. Good old times, good old internet. The internet was much better back then. Should you buy a BYD? I don't think you should buy a BYD. If you buy a BYD, you're gonna turn like her. So the issue with Chinese cars is they always try to win you over with the nice interiors, but I honestly think the longevity and the quality of it is gonna suffer. You felt safe in China just as in Japan. Yeah, well, the thing is you could have really safe experience anywhere, right? Like I felt safe in the US. Like I've never been robbed in the United States. Doesn't mean that there's no issues, right? Just because, I've never been shot before doesn't mean that I know that there's no gun violence or gun issues in the United States. All right, I'm gonna end the stream here. Short one today. Hope to see you guys very soon for another one. Have a good day, guys. Bye bye.